Alright, today we're going to play around with Mulab, a totally free open source digital audio workstation. To create a new project, once you're in Mulab, you come up to Project here and click New. We're going to do a new extra project. I now have 3 projects open. Each has their own window. First thing to do is Mulab gives you a basic synth rack to start out with. To start editing using this synth, you first have to create a sequence. To create a sequence, you have to hold the Control key and click. So now I've created a sequence. To edit the sequence, you come to the Edit tab, and you're presented with your keyboard and your notation. If you click the keys, you get sounds, you put notation over here, how you want it to play. So to draw in the notation, we're going to click this pencil over here and throw in some random notes. If I click play right now, it will play once and ignore the fact that I have a loop over here. So to keep this thing looping, we have to activate the loop. And if we click play, this is going to loop. To erase, you hover over the note and then click when the eraser appears. So I don't like the sound of the basic synth. Change that, we click this arrow down here. You can modify this synthesizer by changing the way your oscillators behave, clicking and dragging. Change your vibrato, all the settings you want. But I'm just going to choose another synthesizer by clicking these arrows up here. Let's go over to let's use that. So synthesizers are kind of boring on their own, so let's click the plus sign over here, click Add Instrument Track, click Devices, Instruments, MuDrum. So this is the drum kit, except it's totally empty. So we need to select a drum kit file. We'll just pick a 909. Every sample in here is totally modifiable. You can change any of these settings over here. You can add effects in the auxiliary rack down here, and you can change which sample goes with which pad. So you've got all of the available snares, all of the available rim shots, all of the available kicks. So let's go with the 808 kick and keep that snare, 909 clap, 808. I prefer the 808. 808. That's a clip. Let's go with the 808 clap. And then we'll close out of this and start editing our drums. So to edit the drums, you do the same thing that you did with the synth. Come down here to the pencil, and you can click over here, see what sound you're getting. Click 1. Oops, I screwed that one up, so I just hover till the eraser appears, and I can draw it where I need it. Now, Mulab also has a really cool sampler built into it. So I'm going to click Add Mu Sampler Track, and I get to pick a file. I have a number of animal sounds over here, so let's go with cow. Make the cow a black cow. If you're into color coding things, you can change the color of all of your racks. So here I have the cow sample. I can change the pitch, the envelope filter, anything that I want. You can select where it starts and ends. So let's try that. Let's take from there. Perfect. So now we'll come down here to the pencil. So now if we want to arrange our random cow techno song, we come back to compose, move the loop out a little bit so that we don't end up repeating before we want to. And let's just start with the drums. Now, you can change the length of the sequence by dragging like this, but for drums to repeat, you just Control C, Control V, and keep putting them in. So now I have drums that will repeat indefinitely, and we'll go back to the beginning and start with just the drums. The drums won't repeat if you drag them, but the synthesizer will. The synthesizer is dependent on the initial length of your sequence, and then work the cow moves in here too. The sampler, have to copy and paste. If you drag like this, it's just going to end up blank for the rest of the sequence. So we'll paste some more cow in there. This is the worst song ever written. So I'll go all the way back to the beginning and loop it. So that's a really basic introduction to Mulab. If I wanted to take this bovine masterpiece and export it, I'd come over to Project and export composition as an audio file. You can export it as an MIDI file, save the project, all of that. So never lose anything that was a stroke of brilliance. Obviously wasn't this. So hopefully you have a better understanding of Mulab. It's totally free, rather full featured. You can import pretty much any VST that you want to into that. Might cover that another time. Thanks for watching.